Excellent. Only 3 minutes late. Much better than last time. Thank you so much for being here, all three of you. Good to have you here. Today I don't have any topic prepared, so shoot whatever you want to ask, whatever you want to talk about, and we'll do that. Before that, though, let me quickly check how the image looks. Oh, you see my yoga mat there. Yeah. But other than that, looks nice. Excellent. Oh, wait a second. My system has run out of application memory because Final Cut Pro is using 20 gigs. So let me. Oh. All right. Okay. Excellent. That should do the job. So good to have you here. Today I have 2 snacks for you. So that's something. One, I have this. This says German potato and bacon mayo. German potato and pepper mayo. So yeah, whatever that means. I don't know if it's actually German potato. So it's kind of bread outside, on the outside. I don't know if you can see that well. And inside it seems it has German quote unquote potato and looks pretty good from the picture here. I doubt that it will actually taste the way it looks, but who knows. And the other thing is this edamame chips. So edamame are soybeans, young soybeans, and these are chips made of edamame, at least to some extent, I think. And I have to quit some applications again, I see. Sorry. By the way, if you can't see me well, then please let me know. Let's see, okay. If there are any issues, if you can't hear me and so on, let me know, please. But so far, is the audio working? I hope so. Because this time I took much more care about actually selecting the proper camera, proper audio in and so on. So it should be working. Also, nothing else is connected, so it should be okay. Partha Paul, hi, good to have you here. Audio, video, okay, excellent. Long time no see, Madman. Good to have you here. Yeah, my head is good. So far, so good. Hey, John. Sound is out of sync. Okay. But that's better than no sound. No more. Oh, great. Okay, excellent. So my health has been good so far. Yeah, it's mostly okay. Sometimes I get like downs when it's like pretty bad, but mostly it's good. And yeah, I work out 4 times a week now. That's good. Not super intense. Sometimes like 30 minutes, sometimes 50 minutes or so. Yeah, that's good. So I'm feeling not bad. Sometimes I have a little back pain, so I need to stretch and so on. Make sure I do something to go against my sitting pattern, because I sit all day, and then stretching and all that to make my muscles understand that I also have some other ways of moving, and then it's kind of okay. So yeah, so far so good. And cold showers currently, unfortunately, not, because it's winter still. That means in Japan, I don't know if it's Japan stereotypically, but at least in my family, we take a bath in the evening. And if I take a cold shower, then either the bathroom is cold when my kids and my family comes in, if I go in first, or if I go in last, then they're in the tub already. And then I take a shower, then they get cold. So it's a little bit of a synchronization issue right now. And now soon, when it gets warm enough so that we don't take the bath, but just shower, then I can go back to the cold showers as well. However, liked it a lot. So that's why I will resume. And also, when I took cold showers here, and then I went to Tokyo, to my office, it was nothing in Tokyo. It's like even though you keep it off, it's not cold at all. So not an issue at all, I think. Also, I still have not to this day taken an ice bath. So that's also something I have lined up this year, hopefully. Now I will open this one here. This is maybe part of my dinner. It's called snack sand actually. Snack sando. Hello, Adelina. Let's have that. German, potato, and pepper, mayonnaise. Snack sandwich. So you can see that it's like toast, untoasted toast on the outside, and then if you open it, whoop, it has, yeah, I don't know. It's not in focus, but yeah, you can see that better. It's a little bit of something with a lot of mayonnaise. And the something is potatoes. And you taste the pepper. That's good. So a little bit hot, spicy. Not bad. Not bad. Even tastes a little bit of potato. So I liked it. I like the taste of pepper specifically. So that's good for me. I like it. Is it night in Japan now? It is now 7 p.m. 7:09. So, and it's dark outside. So yes, it's night, I guess, or evening. So depending on where you're from, it may surprise you that in Japan, even in summer, the sun goes down at around 6 or so. So in Germany, that's not the case. It goes down like 10 p.m. So when I'm here, especially when I first was here, the first 1 or 2 years, was always like, oh yeah, now I have to go to bed because it's warm and it's dark. So it must be 10 p.m. But no, I still have 4 hours or so. Good morning, Stefan. And konbanwa, Nico. Thank you for joining. What do you eat mostly in your breakfast? Mostly. So in the last video, I showed about the pretty simple like fruit bowl I make. I often eat that, not every day, of course. Then bread, usually. Some kind of bread. So today, for example, I had it's called English muffin here. I don't know if it's Japanese thing, and so in German we would call it toast, round toast or something. Round toast, open, butter, not bacon, ham maybe, and tomatoes, and then eat that. Something like that, or cheese or whatever. I mean, probably not super stereotypical Japanese as in fish and rice. Does happen as well, but mostly when I'm in a ryokan or something, like a more traditional setting. Yeah, so in 10 p.m. in Germany, night starts. In summer, yeah, around that time. I think it starts like going down maybe 9 p.m. or so, and then 10 it's dark. However, in winter it's the opposite. So maybe sun comes out at around 9-ish, and then starts going down around 4. And usually the sky is also gray, so it's not it's not the most exciting thing. What I then like to do, but did only once, is to go somewhere else. So for example, this one time I was in December 2013, I went with my company back then. I had a company. We went to do a seminar in Tenerife for a week, and that was great because it was like 23-ish degrees Celsius, so pretty nice weather. And yeah, it's fantastic. You go out of the cold and then you're like, oh wow, the sun really changes my mood. It's great. As a child, I was always wondering why in Japanese video games, if they have any kind of time system, the day was already over around 6 p.m. Ah, I see. Now you know. What I was wondering as a child, or when I was younger, when I watched Dragon Ball, they always had these fun cars, like that looked like boxes and so on. And like, yeah, okay, it's an anime, so why not? Until I came to Japan and realized they have cars like that here. like the K cars, which are the small cars, compact cars, and have almost like a very limited engine, so they don't need that much space, and they're just like small boxes. Fantastic. And this fantastic snack here, a German potato snack sandwich, is accompanied by water. I think maybe I'm not perfect in focus here, and it's actually around here. Yeah. Yo, Sapka Daddy. Good to have you here. So today, as you have seen, I chose another approach with the thumbnail and title. So essentially, I copied my friend Dave Trippin, who calls his thumbnails just Dave Trippin livestream. And I thought, okay. So as you know, hopefully, maybe, I tried to make up a topic and talk about that in the first part of the first couple of minutes of this live stream, so that somebody who doesn't really have an interest in the rest gets something for his click. And but I haven't really tried the other way of just saying it's a live stream, let's talk. And if people are also interested in that, so that's what I'm doing now. So today I just checked my phone for pictures, took one, live from Japan, text on that, and that's it. And by the way, this picture you have seen in the thumbnail. Let me see. 1 second. It was probably a version of this one here. Probably a little bit more like this. And then there's the text here. This picture was shot when I went to a location to shoot for the upcoming video, which is still the QA. And I ran into, like, I saw a roof, which could be a temple, like a traditional style, could be a temple or a house, big house. So I thought, let's see what it is. Went there, was a temple, and that's the picture. Watching from the temple on the entrance gate. What is your plan after ending this live stream? So my best friend has birthday today, so I will call him. Also, my great uncle is turning 93 today, so if I can, I also call him. Then I do a little bit of Japanese flashcards, and then edit video, and then maybe go to sleep, something like that. So it's not that much left of the day, so there are not so many plans. But what are you planning today? Let me know. By the way, this German potato sandwich. So I like this kind of snack sandwich thing, these ones here. But today was the first time I saw the German potato version, so I had to get it. Hey, Rutaraj, good to have you here. When's the next video coming? Last video was 1 month ago. Yeah, I know. It's a little bit late. So still working on it because I'm not so satisfied. That's why it's a little bit repelling to me to actually do work. So I need to make it good now. Probably it's like 60 minutes now. So it's as you may know, it's a Q&A. But it's actually titled Saving Struggling Japanese Businesses, for a reason, of course. And so far, the biggest part is responding to one question. And I want to cut that down a little bit. Probably I make like a 5-minute section into 1 minute or so, and then maybe release an extended version on Patreon. And then hopefully it will be out. I target next week, but who knows what happens in real life. Because probably I have to go to Tokyo next week. I have to go to the German embassy. So I can't use all my time for video things. Ah, yes, potato and bread, very German. Yes, yes, very German. I had never had this in my life, I think, in Germany. But of course, bread and potatoes pretty. It's German, but then put it there's potato bread. That's one thing. But potato is kind of in itself is dry and bread is dry, so it doesn't really work. But this one is kind of fluffy, toasty thing. Not toasted toast, and it has lots of mayonnaise. That's why it's working. Minox is late to the party again, but not super late again. Just 15 minutes, so no problem at all. Do Japanese people celebrate Christmas like Americans? No, I don't know how Americans celebrate, but no, no. So Christmas in Japan is more a couple thing. So you would date or so, maybe go to a restaurant, and then since when was that? Maybe the 80s or so. Kentucky Fried Chicken is very popular. So they came up with the idea like I think there are two sides of the responsible for this situation. One is foreigners in Japan who want a bird, and the closest they get is chicken, and then Kentucky Fried Chicken picking this up and saying Christmas equals Kentucky. And then this was successful, so then like all the convenience stores, Family Mart and 7-Eleven and so on, also offer chicken, and then all the supermarkets and so on, and everybody has chicken for Christmas. And some people even give presents, but there's no religious aspects or anything like that. So it's very commercial compared probably to America, or even more commercial, or maybe one-sided, because in German it's also, for example, I'm German. In Germany, it's also very commercial, but on the other hand, also very family, kind of religious, even though many people aren't Christian or anything, atheists probably, but still there is a lot of religion in there. In Japan, that's not the case. This historical religious background doesn't exist. It's just like blinking lights and maybe you decorate your house or something. Some do. Illumination. So it's quite different. I think for me it was pretty lonely, maybe even the first time. And now I'm trying my best when we are here at Christmas. I try my best to go to Germany if I can. But for example, last year we couldn't. So I'm trying my best to do the most Christmas-like situation with my family. Did you feel the earthquake? I did not feel the earthquake. I did the one. Which one? Was the one today? If so, then no. You live in Saga. Wasn't it you who mentioned that before in the last stream or so? Saga, for those who don't know, is in Kyushu. That's in the northernmost of the 4 big islands of Japan. Sounds strange to just potato and bread, not too German. Yeah, for Germans maybe, but I guess for others who think like Germans, okay, equals potato and sausage and beer and bread to some extent, and put this together. There might be some kind of potato spread. Yeah, maybe, probably, or maybe they have potato salad on bread. I don't know. About Easter, any Easter eggs available? I haven't seen any. Probably somewhere if you search for it. Pun not intended, but then I never bought. I usually even don't realize it's Easter. Only if some people tell me that, like my family or somebody who's working at the German school or something. I remember eating German potatoes and sausage with chopsticks at the München festival in Sapporo a few years ago. Nice. Let me think, because there are a lot of Oktoberfests in Japan, which are mostly not in October, but all year round. And that means you can get sausages and beer. Very, very expensive beer. So Oktoberfest, in the original, the beer is quite pricey. It's like 10, 11, probably not, it's like 12, 13 euros per liter. But here it's like kind of that per half liter or even more. So you can really pay a lot. And often it's even some known German brand, and sometimes it's just something I've never heard of. maybe some German brand that's mostly focused on international customers or so, or not German. And it's super expensive. What I do like a lot, or did like, is the Christmas market in Yokohama. There's the Akarenga at the bay. That's an old brick warehouse, and it's like two of them, and in between is an area where you can have like Oktoberfests, or in that case, a Christmas market. And they had fantastic gingerbread there, original, super pricey, like $10 per gingerbread or so, around thing like this. It's so great. I bought it every year, and then all of a sudden it was not there anymore. I get an interview to Line company. Maybe do you know something about that company? Are they traditional Japanese company? Thank you in advance. I do, yes. I have a couple of friends working there, and they're pretty okay. So I think essentially no overtime, and it's flex time. I think no call time also. So I guess your overtime would be paid. Not really sure. And yeah, the office is in a great location. If it's the one in Shinjuku, it's like you can walk there from the JR Shinjuku station. You get out of the escalator and you're there. That's one office. They have a couple in Tokyo, but I think if you do a developer job, that would be there. And then they have also one in Fukuoka. And then, of course, it's not Tokyo. So if you want a big city, Tokyo would be nicer. But Fukuoka, they pay the same, as far as I know. So half the rent, same salary. So maybe makes you think. And other than that, yeah, just give your best. I don't know. Probably they will ask you like programming question in the first two interviews, one or two, and then yeah, you'll see. But no, I don't think it's a bad company as far as I know. So yeah. What's today's topic to be quickly ignored? Yes, it's already ignored. No topic today. So I gave up. No, I kind of gave up, but not in the sense that I followed my friend Dave Trippin from Dave Trippin channel, who just calls his live streams Dave Trippin live stream. And I thought, let's call it Japanese Journey live stream and see how it works. If still a lot of people join, or even more maybe, because I've never tried it or for some time. I'm the Kuzuri from last stream. Okay. Deko, hey, good to have you here. Excellent. Okay. Karat. So I'm very bad with remembering names. So if I sometimes forget, like, where you're from or so, or if you told me your real name, then yeah, I may not remember. But if you repeat it a lot, then I will eventually. Which topic? I've just connected. Yeah, no topic. The only thing is we have snacks today. One is German potato snack sandwiches, and the other one are edamame chips. Edamame is soybean, young soybean. Which country is more expensive according to you, Germany or Japan? I feel Japan, at least I think I use more money here. But then on the other hand, I have never had kids in Germany. I never lived with kids in Germany. So I moved here a couple of months before my first kid was born. So first child was born. So I don't know, couldn't say. But for example, I like fruits and vegetables and stuff. And that's definitely much, much cheaper. So like the daily stuff, much cheaper in Germany. Then for rent, most likely cheaper in Germany. Depends on where you are. So if you compare this house to Munich, which is where I lived, and is one of the most expensive or second most expensive, I think, city in Germany. That's not comparable. But then if you take Tokyo and Munich, and like central Tokyo, then it's a totally different story. But overall, I think Japan is more expensive if you live in one of the cities. Yeah. There is a company called Schmatz, founded by German students, I think. They have a couple of German-style restaurants in Tokyo region, including self-brewed beers. Yes, I know. I've been to Schmatz once, I think. No, twice. once or twice. And it was, kind of, the thing is, when you're having something in Japan, something German, then it still needs to be adjusted to the Japanese taste. So for me, it wasn't out of the ordinary. I think there are better ones, personally. But I haven't been there in some time, 2 years or so. And if somebody from Schmatz is here, then let me know and we make a video together. Akarenga equals Akarenga. Yes, that's correct. So red brick warehouse is the official translation, I think. I've been struggling with JavaScript, I guess, for the last few months now. When will it make sense? I have no idea. I think never. I don't do JavaScript. So I did. So yeah, now it's getting a little technical for a couple of minutes. I did learn Java in university, and then as a student job, I did do some JavaScript, but this was the last time I touched it was 2009. And then after that, I did something like CoffeeScript, which is like a compiler on top, I think. Also very limited, for limited time, and then never again. And then it was like more focused on Java again and Kotlin and things like that. But JavaScript, maybe in the future I will look at it again, but who knows? Yeah. So remember, Line is a Korean company. That's correct. Line is a Korean company, but it's mostly popular in Japan. And Line has merged with Yahoo Japan as well. So I'm not sure actually if it's still a Korean company now. I don't know if like Line joined Yahoo or they made a merger, and then I don't know exactly the situation. But yeah, originally Naver is the parent company of Line, and it's a Korean company. Your point, Aminox. Do you know the Live in Japan, the channel? I do, yes. I never met Greg in person. I once walked past him in Akihabara when I wanted to shoot a video, but he looked very stressed. Had his daughter with him, so I just messaged him on Twitter. I saw you. He said, "Yeah, I was stressed." So there was that, and I maybe messaged him a couple of times. I shared some footage with him for a video. So, but beyond that, no contact or so. Chill with the capital letters, please. Thanks. Yeah, position is located in Fukuoka, and they expect me to provide an expected salary. If it doesn't bother you, could you tell a medium salary for Android developers or developers itself? How many years experience do you have, and what's your salary now? That's probably not good to everybody on the internet. Usually, in Japan, at least if you're located in Japan, it will be your previous salary, and then you expect some more. But if you say twice as much, then it's a little bit suspicious. But you also have to consider a little bit the country you're in. So if you're maybe from Poland or so, maybe a little bit lower, and you can add some extra space there. And Zenedith lived in Fukuoka, and it's great. I've never been to Fukuoka, but I want to go. Used to live there. Yes. So for Android developers, medium salary, it's a little hard to say. So tell me when we will meet. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I totally don't know. So definitely not during Corona, and then maybe one day. Yeah. 4 years, and it does bother you because you're from Russia, I see, and salaries, I think, are quite different. Yeah, I think so, yes. Okay. I mean, then probably if you'd say you're like in a medium tier in Russia, and then you converted to Japan or something, that's okay. I'm not sure about Line, but I guess 4 years, if you're in the range of 7 million yen or so, it would be acceptable, maybe, for Line. Depends on the company also. If it's like a American company like Google or Apple, of course you would expect more, also Indeed or something. But for Line, I think that would be a range where you could definitely live comfortable in Fukuoka, also in Tokyo if you're down. Now let me think what I could tell you. Something interesting that maybe not just tech, because maybe not everybody's into that. Yeah. I'm from India, but Japan is much more expensive than India. I think so, yeah, probably. Probably. And now in Saga, how come you're there? And what do you do? Thank you and bon appetit. Thank you so much. What's the minimum salary you've seen in Japan for full-time web dev? So when you search and you find a couple of entry positions, usually it's like the really low ones are like 3 million or so, maybe, or 3.5, I guess. But that's unacceptable, I think, if you're not a beginner. What do you think about electronics prices in Japan compared to Europe? To me, they seem more expensive in Japan. Yeah, also to me, and often even for Japanese brands like Panasonic or something. Don't know why. For example, this is a Panasonic camera which I bought in Germany. Used, I must say used, but still. I think probably the cheapest to get electronics is still America or so. So if you're in Japan, you can go to Medium or so. There's a company called Medium, and they ship to Japan expedited in 4 days or something like that, and it's free. So I think at least for a certain price, like if you buy like $1,000 camera, it will be free and will be here soon. So that's probably the cheaper option in many cases if it's pricey. But for example, this lens on the camera here, this was bought in Japan, secondhand, works still great, and probably would have made no difference. Yeah. However, for example, this one here, this microphone is maybe $50 or so, but in Japan it's like 70. So still bought it in Japan, but maybe next time I would make a big order or so and then put that in there. Oh, I'm an aerospace engineer. I see. And message detected. Yeah, keep it secret if you have to. Last video was 1 month ago. Could you tell us what may have changed in my life? Let me think. What changed? 1 month, long time. Yeah, considering a couple of things, bigger things, which are not ready to be shared yet. Also, other than that, yeah, considering what videos to make next for this channel, working a lot. That's about it, I think. Also not really satisfied with the next video, and that's why it's taking me longer, so I need to make sure it's really polished and up to standard, and hopefully will be entertaining. And then, other than that, I think not so much changed. I believe the average monthly salary in Japan is 430,000 yen, which translates to per month, I assume, yeah? Which translates to around 5 million yen per. I don't know. What I saw it's a little bit lower, maybe around 4.5 million or something like that. But of course, in Tokyo and so on would be higher on average. But remember, usually Japan has 14 monthly payments per year, 12 monthly and 2 summer and winter bonus. And yes, yes. I mean, it's not necessarily a monthly payment because, as it says, it's a bonus. So usually it's performance connected to your performance. So it might be 12 monthly and then 2 months. The summer might be 2 months or so, and the winter also. Some companies have it 4 times a year. Some companies give stocks in addition. So it can't be It can be generalized, but yeah, there's definitely bonus payments for most positions. Maybe not for English teaching positions or so, but from engineers, yes, also for me. Did you get used to work-life balance in Japan? I mean, compared to other countries where they have more flexible work-life balance. I mean, when I talk to my German friends, it's always hard. They're like, "Yeah, I only have like 2 weeks left of my vacation." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my year's vacation and some." but I was never employed in Germany. I had my own company, so I worked a long time anyway. But then I also took like 2 months a year off or so. So that's definitely something I'm missing. A little bit more freedom there. And there's a lot of consideration about the company, I think, about the business situation and so on, and when you can take off responsibly, much more than in Germany, probably, because in Germany it's very your time off is more protected, I would say. For example, you can't take overtime. If you do work more, you are not allowed to work more than 10 hours anyway. But if you work 10 hours, then you have this 2 hours difference, right? Overtime, then you have to take it off, for example. That's not existing here. So it's, I guess I'm adjusted. But of course, living here and having a German schedule or a company that would provide something like that, it would be excellent. I'm going to graduate next year with a CSE, computer science engineering, maybe, degree. Do you know if Japanese IT companies hire fresh foreign graduates? Don't really have any industry experience, but I do have an info in JLPT. There's some companies that have like entry-level hiring and English environment, so exists. But of course, if you know more, if you know Japanese, or if you have work experience, then you have more choice and more options, means also your chances are higher to get hired. Okay, aerospace engineer, but not able to tell me or us more. And keep it secret. Don't get into trouble just for telling people on the internet what you do. Thanks for sharing. Average salary is 260,000 yen. That's a lot. That's a lot less. 260 times 12. That's like 3 million yen a year, which is like $30,000. So not spectacular. But then, of course, if you are in the countryside, this is okay, especially in the first year, because in Japan there's something called residence tax, and this is paid based on the previous year. So if you earn something for the first time, then you don't pay in the first year, and then the next year it will be lower because you have to pay the tax based on your last year's salary. And and then you can, of course, go from, I don't know, probably 260 is also close to what an average English teacher would earn in Japan, I think, when they first start here. Tokyo salary is very different from countryside. Yes, definitely. How are you? Big digital hug from Brazil. Thank you, Marcelo. And I'm great. Thank you. And I hope you are as well. Tokyo salary is on average 150% of countryside salary. Oh. Does everyone speak clear in English like you in Japan? No. I can't handle a British accent though. Yeah, I also can't handle British accent. It takes some time always for me to get used to it. But no, not at all. So most people, or many people, don't speak English, especially outside of Tokyo, and don't expect it. I guess the overall English level is also not so high. But I mean, if you think how hard it is for you to learn Japanese, then just flip it around, and then you understand how hard it is for Japanese to learn English. So it's not an easy task for two languages that are so foreign to each other. Spoken English is very rare amongst Japanese and usually heavily accented. And so in Japan, there's something called the English test? TOEIC. And usually above 700 is kind of okay-ish, and then 900-ish. So this point system, 990 is the highest. That's what I have. Then 900-ish or so, then it gets like to a level where you can be kind of certain that the person has some English ability. But this test is just like the JLPT, not a spoken test. So as long as you understand grammar and have some vocabulary, then you can pass this test with a decent number. So, and that's of course the issue. If everybody is studying for this test because they needed to get a job or something, then probably the speaking part, which is kind of and listening, maybe it has listening. The speaking part, which is kind of important for languages, is kind of left behind. I just know hiragana and katakana. Yes. And yes, then often this Japanese English will also become a little bit of katakana English. So English becomes English. English is 0% in countryside area. I guess sometimes you also find somebody who came back home or something. What's your JLPT level? I don't have a JLPT level. I never took one. It's so hard to get with kanji. They're so similar for me. Yeah, I mean, you need to find your way. And then, of course, like, as you know, probably kanji are composed of parts, right? Like similar, like simpler kanji are are combined and make up bigger kanji. Very gross simplification, but and then there are a couple of tools like Haysek's method, maybe, that's remembering the kanji. That's very helpful, and a similar approach, but a little bit similar but different is Wanikani, which is more digital and teaches a little bit more, exactly as Aminox mentioned it. And yeah, just learn something. Also, because Ruturaj is here from Saga, so another YouTuber from Saga Prefecture, Saga City even, called Light Smith. He just started making a kanji book, which is very, I think he does a great job and has everything you need to know about a kanji. It has mnemonics, it has stroke order, it has sample sentences and sample words and so on. So that's also interesting. Personally, I did the Heisek method, remembering the kanji, so I like that. Essentially, you start from the smallest part, take a kanji, and Wanikani is the same. Take a kanji, say, okay, like this is moon, and then you have a moon and you put the sun next to it, and then this means bright, because they're bright apparently, and so on. So you construct this, and Heisek, remembering the kanji, this method focuses on the stroke order, so you learn how to write, and a meaning, giving one meaning to the kanji. And then Wanikani gives a little bit more. They don't do writing, but they do meaning, they do sample words, they even show sample sentences, but don't ask that. And a couple of vocabulary using the kanji and then combine it and so on. So yeah, and the good thing about Wanikani is that it kind of there's a little bit more gamification. So maybe you keep at it more. You have like level up, I think 60 levels or so. And they also kind of take care that you don't do too much, which is a little bit of a risk for some. Like you have time and now you do Japanese and then you do it, and then the next day you have to do 200 reviews and you're like, oh my God, I don't do that. And they can kind of help me. Help with that, but help Aminox. You should make a video on 100 yen shop. That would be great. I did one in the beginning of last year. What was that? I forgot the name, but if you go back in the channel, but it was not so great, I think. Like Genius 100 yen shop things or something like that. So currently, because my focus is a little different, probably if I would do that, then I would contact a 100 yen store and then would like to talk to a store manager or something, like covering the logistics of all that, then maybe talk to customers even. And like, how does it work? Why does it work? That would be more interesting to me. now much more than just going there and say, hey, it's a 100 yen store and they have onigiri boxes or something or chopsticks. Simple kanji are made of components. Complex kanji are made of other kanji and components. Yes, we call them radicals, but apparently they don't have a clear definition. A video about insects. I've heard many of them. Of course, of course there. Also, yeah. Now soon it becomes summer, and then the mantis will come out again. Kamakiri. And I like them for some reason. Maybe because of my kids also. I find it interesting. And but insects. So it's not like the insects here are deadly. I think for the most part, at least. There are kind of big spiders in some areas. But it's not like Australia, for example. And John, who is from Australia, can probably confirm that Australia kind of more risky. And they have snakes here, for example, when was that? I think December or November. I climbed a mountain in Ibaraki with Dave Trippin, and there was a snake like... It was colorful, red or something. So we're like, okay, if it has color, we don't touch it. Wouldn't have touched it anyway. But yeah, and there are quite poisonous snakes here as well. Also in this area, I think I've seen one once or so in the mountains. And you should visit Izu Peninsula. Yeah, I have. The season is great to visit. Yeah, exactly. I was there in 2019. So the last time it kind of was easily possible because a friend went there and we were at the ryokan next to the sea. It was very nice. Should have stayed longer. Took just one day off and then stayed one night, but they stayed a couple of nights more and it was great. The sake was amazing. So in a ryokan, you often get a lot of food and then you get one tiny cup of sake. And it was so good. But this kind of sake is just one you cannot order it. You just get the one thing and then you have to go with the ordinary stuff. But it was fantastic. What Japanese music and or bands do you enjoy? I have become addicted to wagaki and baby metal. I don't listen to any Japanese music, I think. Do I? Yeah, some. Because my kids like some. And then sometimes in the car, but it's like, the male idol groups, for example. What was the name? I think my wife likes Snowman. And then what was the other one? Yeah, you know how much I care. You see, not too much. And what was that? Some girl group. There's one girl group which is pretty good. I mean, then I don't know how they look, but they can sing for once, so that's not always the case here. But Little Glee Monster, that's the name. When I was in Japan, especially in the Hiroshima and Kyoto regions, I saw many of those super hairy caterpillars. Nice. Okay, Nazi salute. So this, my friend, gets you banned, which is the first time in a live chat, but I don't tolerate that. Banned, hidden, essentially. Messages will be hidden. In Australia, it's dangerous to leave your hotel room. Yeah. And I heard, don't wear sandals or something outside because you step on stuff. Here in Sydney, the day we moved to a new apartment, there was a spider close to the ceiling. I guess the spider was expecting us. Oh, nice. And how does Japanese concerns to other Asians? It depends, I think. I mean, I don't know. I feel like all I hear always is their tensions with China and Korea and so on. So I don't really know. But on a personal level, it's all just, they're whatever, they're Chinese. So what? It's like, they're just people. It seems like there's some country, but when you meet people, that nobody cares, I think. I mean, some assholes exist, of course, everywhere, but usually. Yeah, Japanese music is not famous like K-pop and Hollywood. Yes, K-pop. My wife loved Big Bang, which is a K-pop band, and then they had to go serve in the army, which you have to do until you're 30 something or so. And then one of them was arrested because of, I think, prostitution or something not fun. And now they're kind of not popular in Japan anymore for some reason. I was like an imposter last time in Japan, but I want to know what they actually think. I see. Yeah, that's tough, I guess. You can ask, but I don't know if they will tell you. Some do. That's pretty great, I think. What programming languages would you recommend to learn to get better job prospects in Japan? So something, at least when I was looking for my job, which was a couple of years ago, there was a lot of Ruby on Rails for server-side development, astonishingly a lot. So maybe that. So I have to check my phone for a bit. Give me a second. Because as I mentioned, my best friend's birthday is today. And he wants to phone in 6 minutes. So I have to soon call it a day already, unfortunately, because, duties. Yes, okay, answer programming. Yeah, so other than that, I don't know. I think JavaScript is probably also very popular, kind of popular with bigger companies. And of course, Java is always somewhere, I think, in most bigger environments, there will be Java somewhere. And then it, of course, depends. I think front end would be JavaScript, back end, something, Ruby, Java, JavaScript. And Android, obviously Kotlin, iOS, obviously Swift. Not so soon. And delete. Yeah, sorry. Japanese people's attitude towards you depends on your behavior. Do not be loud. Don't be a nuisance to others, and personal hygiene is ultra important. Yes, because I mean, it's kind of obvious. Like if you don't behave, then they think you're not. Well, I mean, and it's kind of, you represent also your country, something you come with, and then of course there's totally out of focus, huh? And then there's also something like generalization, like I look Caucasian, it means I'm American, which is of course not true. But I represent Americans then until we talk and I tell them I'm German or so. And then hygiene. So imagine you're in Tokyo, it's summer, and you squeeze into the rush hour train with no space at all around you. Like it's like, pah. Of course, hygiene is, and then you just smell and like, yeah. It seems that there are a lot of full stack developers in Japan. Yeah, I think so. Maybe, I don't know, half. I don't know. Depends also on the company. I think some have like a policy where they say how they structure the teams. Some may say, okay, we want like a front end team and we want a microservice A and B and C team, and some say we want a feature focus, so you have to be full stack. Hope we meet soon. Okay, Karat? No, Rutaraj. Thank you, and thank you for coming here again, and the best regards to Saga Prefecture. Sent to Saga Prefecture. Understanding what is normal and allowed in the West might not be common in Japan. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the other way around as well. Like probably for many Westerners, it's a little bit unconventional that Japanese slurp when they eat noodle soup and things like that. I mean, that just happens. And at least initially, it's not an issue because people know you're a foreigner, especially if you look foreign, like me or most other people that are not from Southeast Asia, East Asia, and yeah, so it's kind of there's some toleration, but of course, if you really mess up, like you keep on the toilet slippers, or you don't take off your shoes when you go into the house, or another big one is probably if you pass something from chopstick to chopstick, then they will tell you, and maybe even aggressively. But then, of course, over time, you're also expected to pick things up and to start behaving accordingly. Because, I mean, imagine you're in a country for 10 years and you didn't learn anything. How does it look for the people there? I hate that everyone is listening to loud music or talking on phones in public transport in Europe when I go back. Yeah, I can understand that. I don't remember how it was. What I remember are the smells, because people use a lot more deodorant and perfume and so on, and they smoke on the street. That was very surprising. And sound, yeah, I haven't gone on the train so much, I think. So wish your friend happy birthday from my side. Okay, will do. Will do, I think. Let's see what he says. I heard they also don't tell you about your mistake, and in my opinion, it would be hard to change your behavior because of that. Yes, and they don't. Yeah, I mean, probably there's often the assumption that you're foreigners, so probably you will go back, and isn't worth telling you everything, or how much should we tell you? So it's a little bit of a chicken egg issue. So you kind of need to go. I kind of need to understand you make mistakes, but also go out of your way to some extent to change, maybe to ask them, so that they understand it's okay to correct you and you actually want to know. So it's, yeah, you just have to be proactive. Maybe not just. They hint at it, but will not tell you directly to be polite. Yes. And often you don't understand, and then they say, like, read the air or something. And then if you tell Japanese, I can't read the air, that's like, read the air. Then they say, yeah, I also can't. But that's a totally different level of not being able to read that. Live stream on my birthday. Oh, also you're the birthday. Excellent. Also, yeah, you're late, unfortunately. Also, right now, just now. Oh no, 15 minutes later. Excellent. So we have 15 more minutes, because my best friend's birthday is also today, not just Dreamy Senpai's. And I will have to call him in now 14 minutes. So we have 14 more minutes. So kind of from my friend to Dreamy Senpai as a birthday present, we still have 14 minutes. No offense, but I think Japanese people are kind of weird. Yeah, I think so. But, since I moved to Japan, I also think Germans are kind of weird, special or so, Germans, but lovely at the same time, at least for me. So I guess that's probably true for any culture. I mean, there's some predominant ones like the US, of course, but then I guess there's also, if you leave your country and see, okay, there's so much more to explore culturally, and like all the kind of weird things happening there, and why do we actually do that, and so on, then probably if you kind of get this distance a little bit, then everything is weird. Every culture has some weird parts. So yeah, I can, and from that perspective, I can totally understand and support your statement of Japanese people are kind of weird. Oh yeah, happy birthday to Dreamy Senpai, excellent. And to my best friend, thank you. We'll tell him. Now, since we're running out of time, let's open these edamame chips. One thing that is great in Japan, that probably more than 99% of the packages are very easy to open, so that you have some kind of thing where you can open it, and there's some logic or so. And if not, then probably you're doing it wrong, you missed it or so. So this is how they look. This is compared to me. Thin. Crunchy, not very salty. Maybe a little bit dry, but also not very oily, which I like. Also, there's really not a lot in this package. Can you see that? Like this. Like here. Probably less than half. Didn't know I was married. Yes, I am. 5th year now. So this year, 5 years. All cultures have their quirks, but the respect given to each other and maintaining personal honor by keeping promises are concepts I miss in my home country. Yeah. Delivery, that's something I probably, if we talk about professional advice a little bit more, keep your promise. That's it. To anybody, customer, managers, teams, that's it. What's your age? 33. How much is your rent? Do you live in Tokyo? Aren't you? No, I don't live in Tokyo. I lived in Yokohama, which is next to Tokyo, not so far. So from where I was, from the station, was like 30 minutes to Roppongi, where I used to work, which is good. And there the rent was 140,000 yen, $1,400-ish. So, and then other costs I forgot. But all in all, maybe $1,600 or so for 55, 60 square meters. I don't know what it is in square feet. So it was kind of pricey, I think. Not ridiculously pricey, but also, yeah. And now we moved to Nagano, which is countryside. And here we pay 120,000 yen, $1,200-ish, for a 99 square meter house. So less for more. Less for much more, actually. And before that, the other house also had a parking area. And if we had rented that, it would have been another 150 per month. And here it's included. And we can maybe park 3 or so cars. Not that we ever would do that, but we could. You look much younger than your age. Thank you. But probably not if you put an average Japanese 33-year-old next to me. I had like a boss before, and he was in his mid-40s, and he looked like 20 or so. Unbelievable sometimes. You should do a video about the mastery of engineering that has gone into the packaging of Konbini Onigiri. Yes, I actually did. I did make a video about Genius Japan. Like how like the simple things that make everyday life easier. Like the toilets, and also how the bathrooms are designed, and of course the packaging, like onigiri, like 1, 2, 3, so on, and then still crunchy and all that. So for those who don't know, onigiri in Japan, there are a couple of onigiri are rice balls, and some of them are wrapped in nori, seaweed, and some if the seaweed touches the rice, then gets like wet and soft, right? And that's okay. But there are also onigiri where the seaweed is around it, and then between the rice and the seaweed is a layer of plastic. And it's has a special packaging that it removes the plastic, and then you have the crunchy onigiri on the outside and the rice on the inside. The soft, kind of soft, wet rice. How old are you? 33. So I didn't age too much since it was asked last time. I thought you were 26. Thank you so much. Too kind of you. Yeah, when I watched my first videos, I was 29 when I started. And I think like, oh, I looked so young, like a baby. Not like a baby, like a kid. I know that. What about Keigo? Which type of Keigo should foreigners use in business and daily life? Yeah, usual must-des is totally fine for most situations. In business, you will see how it is. Depends on what kind of business you're engaged in. So usually, if you have customer contact, obviously you should be polite. So put yourself lower, put the customer higher. That's like the simple thing. And I guess you have to get used to it. That's the biggest part. Couple of words that you should change. Many people don't. Even Japanese, I hear sometimes don't do it correct, and I'm like, wait, that was wrong. Yes, I'm not the only one. But personally, I almost never use it. Yeah. Like Keigo as in omachi shitemasu, which is like I'm humbly waiting or something like that. Yeah. But it's, of course, you should understand it, because if you talk to customer service and so on, restaurants and so on, they will use it. And yeah, then for me personally, it's especially in the beginning, like Keigo is a lot more words, a lot more sounds flying around, and then there's this one word you need to pick up to understand what it's about, and then you're fine. Initially, of course. Are you gonna go back to your country, or are you gonna stay in Japan forever? I don't know, actually. But at some point probably would be good to have some kind of decision there. Also make it like, if you like, do you want to buy a house or pay rent forever? And it's really hard to say, and probably can't really be said, because you never know what's gonna happen. Will there be another big earthquake, and or maybe some more family internal disaster? So you never know. And so I can't say for sure. But I must say, Germany is great now. So when I go to Germany, it's fantastic. But if I lived in Germany, I can't really say, because it's always green on the other side of the road. And if you go somewhere not working as a tourist, essentially, that's a totally different story, because you have the money, you have the time, you do what you want, and of course, then it's great. And that's probably also one of the reasons why many people like over idolize Japan. So it's really hard to say. I also never lived in Germany with family, so yeah, it's something I wouldn't know if it was better in Germany with my current life situation or not. So it's a really tough thing to answer, but also something I'm thinking about a lot. Okay, Aminox, thank you. Regards to your wife. Thank her for for allowing you to give us so much of your time, and also enjoy your weekend. Are you married to a Japanese girl? Yes, I'm married to a Japanese woman. It's kind of the easy way in if you absolutely want to live in Japan, but it was never the case for me, because I just wanted to live with this woman, and she happened to be Japanese. That's why I'm here, kind of. Of course, I mean, I've been to Japan before that, and I had some affinity because of martial arts, but it's not like, yeah, Japan's the best country in the world or so. In fact, before we got together and I saw pictures of her on Facebook, like everybody in kimono and so on, like, oh my God, I would never be able to fit into that, just by the fact that I'm so different, obviously. What kind of visa do you have? I have spouse visa. Of course, I could get the work visa as well, but that's more work. And that's like the worst visa, because spouse visa allows me to do anything, work, not work, be self-employed, and work visa allows just one type of work. And next step is, of course, permanent visa, which I haven't done out of laziness, because I think as a spouse you can get it after 3 years, and now I've been here for 4.5 or so probably this year I will switch. Did you feel the earthquake an hour ago? No, I didn't know there was one. So Nagano is very central and there are not a lot of earthquakes. So I think I lived here before 1.5 years, and I think we had 2 or so smaller ones, maybe 3. So smaller as in we felt it, but nothing happened. Yeah. Happy married life. I mean, mostly. Mostly. Of course, there are conflicts every now and then, but yeah. Now, it's already 8:13, and I want to call my friend in 2 minutes to say happy birthday from all of you. And that's why I think now slowly we should call it a day. So a shorter one today, just 1 hour and 10 minutes, but still, I hope you enjoyed it. And then if you have a couple of last questions, let me know. Otherwise, yeah. So not sure if I will keep it like this, just Japanese Journey live stream. Maybe I will have another topic again next time. But I think maybe it's easier to differentiate the normal videos from the live streams this way. Okay. Thank you. Good night. Thank you all. Have a great day. Good night, and fantastic weekend. Stay safe, and more videos will come. Yes. I will work on that later tonight. So hopefully soon. So then, for now, thank you so much for your participation. Thank you for watching, and then see you again next time.